Good day everyone, I am Kristen Kate Belenario and we are the Group 2 and we are going to discuss the Code of Ethics, Article 4, 5, and 6.
Hello, my name is Ryan Kim Nabo. Today I'll be discussing the Article 4 of the Code of Ethics, which is titled A Teacher in the Teaching Profession, or the relationship of the teacher in the teaching profession. Along with this, we will also be discussing the 5 sections of the Article 4 together with Ms. Hanime Kabisay. Section 1 of the Article 4 will tell us that every teacher shall actively ensure that teaching is the novelist profession and shall manifest genuine enthusiasm and pride in teaching as a novel calling. Teacher must be the first one to believe that teaching is the most novelist profession. We all know that teaching is a novel profession since we are a future educator. Teachers are selfless, always ready to go to any extent to help their students. It gives a great feel of self-satisfaction to a teacher when they see their students achieve in life. Teaching is a very novel profession because it shapes the character and the future of every student. Teachers provide knowledge and guidance, and teaching is one of the oldest and the novelest service to the society in any culture. Since no one gets financially rich in the profession, it's still the novelist profession. It's a novel calling. Not everyone can be a teacher because not everyone is called to be a teacher. Okay, for the section 2 will tell us that teachers shall uphold the highest possible standards of quality education, shall make the best preparations for the career of teaching, and shall be at his best at all times and in the practice of his profession. Teacher must strive to be the best at all times, personally, your personal dealings with your students and with everyone in your community, and professionally. And you know, teaching really is our main concern in the delivery of the quality. Teaching is our priority. Teaching and quality teaching, these are the two different things. You can just teach whatever you want to teach to them, but quality teaching is more than that. And as a quality teachers, we have to make sure that we do quality teaching. And a quality teaching, that doesn't mean you are really smart in your subject. You make students be impressed because you can explain to them all the things they ask to you. It's not quality teaching. Quality teaching is a combination of you being a master of your own subject matter and your ability to make this subject matter understandable to your students. No matter how complex that subject is, that's quality teaching. And for the section 3 will tell us that every teacher shall participate in the Continuing Professional Education or CPE program of the Professional Regulation Commission and shall pursue such other studies as it will improve his efficiency and enhance the prestige of the profession and strengthen his competence, virtues, and productivity in order to be nationally and internationally competitive. Meaning, you have to equip yourself with the new things. You have to study. You have to participate in the different seminars. You have to equip yourselves every now and then so you could offer something new to your students. So if you graduate and you did not participate, you did not study, you didn't do anything but to teach, you did not go for further education, so students would expect that all what you just teach to them is just what you have learned in the year you graduate and study. But we all know everything changes. The approach of teaching changes. Even the learning preferences of students will change. And if you do not upgrade yourself, you do not study, you do not have seminars, you do not participate in the CPE or and you do not have anything new to offer to your students, which is bad. So since learning is continuous process, then teachers might as well participate in continuous. That's CPE. CPE is really a very important thing because teachers are forever as students. So you have to study every now and then. And for the other section, it will be discussed by Miss Hanime Kabisay.
So good day everyone, my name is Hanime Kabisay. So I will be discussing the continuation of Article 4 and the next one is Article 5, Section 1. Section 4. Every teacher shall have, if duly authorized, to seek support from the school, but shall not make improper misrepresentation through personal advertisements and other questionable means. So, you are allowed to represent a particular school or your school provided you are authorized to do so. Do not represent your school or anyone without being authorized to do such. Section 5. Every teacher shall use the teaching profession in a manner that makes it dignified means for earning a decent living. Okay, teaching is a dignified means of earning enough decent living, so you have to live as decent as possible. So but in the moment that you engage yourself to a businesses provided the businesses are legit that it's a decent businesses at the same time a legit business. The next one is Article 5, Teachers and the Profession. Section 1. Teachers shall at all times be imbued with the spirit of professional loyalty, mutual confidence, and faith in one another, self-sacrifice for the common good, and full cooperation with colleagues when the best interest of the learners, the school, or the profession is at stake. Any controversy, teachers shall support one another. This means that a professional teacher, you must have cooperate with your colleagues in terms of the wellness or for the good side for your learners. That's all for my report.
Okay, so a pleasant morning to each and everyone. My name is Celine Jane Importo Cabasag from section Prophet Ezekiel PMGO5, and at this moment, I am going to continue the discussion of our group, and I'll be tackling section 2, 3, and 4 in Article 5 of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. So let's start with section 2. So section 2 states that a teacher is not entitled to claim credit or work not of his own, and shall give due credit for the work of others which he may use. So this means that as a teacher, you must be responsible for those informations, topics, or even just sentences you were trying to inculcate in the minds of these students. You must not claim what's not yours. That's one thing we should remember when we become teachers someday. Kasi alam naman natin kung ano ang dulot ng pag-angkin ng works ng iba, right? Since kahit ngayon pa lang, na students pa lang tayo, we were already reminded by our teachers to give credit to the owner of the informations we were using. Naranasan natin yan noong gumagawa tayo ng research in our senior high school years. Meron talagang bibliography or references in the end to honor those authors of informations we use. We must acknowledge all the authors or writers of those we are teaching, even though hindi sikat yung author or even though hindi masyadong kilala yung author. It doesn't mean na pwede mo nang angkinin ang mga works ng iba or mga works niya, since if you do that, maaari kang kasuhan ng plagiarism, and it's a kind of a case wherein it doesn't depend on the popularity of the one who's been plagiarized. Popular or not, the sentence for the case is just the same. So much better to give credit to avoid such trouble. As teachers, we need to be professional and act as professionals. Hindi naman maaaring turo ka ng turo about credibility of information and giving credits and acknowledgements kung ikaw mismo hindi gumagawa nun, di ba? So in order to teach your students about giving credits, then do it first or be a role model to them. At this time also, di ba, uso na ang social media kasi nag-o-online class na lang tayo. And we can't deny the fact na minsan, pag may mga activities, lalo na pag sobrang dami na, dinadaan na lang natin kay Google, kay browser, kay Brainly, kay Quora, and so on. And minsan, instead of just making what we've searched as a guide in answering, yung ginagawa natin is copy-paste na lang tayo ng copy-paste. And yes, I have really experienced that. And upon copy-pasting informations, hindi natin binibigyan ng credit yung may-ari ng informations kasi we don't want na malaman ni teacher na hindi mo yon sariling sikap. So that kind of action is really wrong. The same lang din yan sa pagiging guro. Diba yung mga teachers nowadays is pasosyal na ng pasosyal. Dati nagsusulat lang sa blackboard or whiteboard or gumagamit lang ng mga Manila paper as a visual aids. But now, due to technology advancement, teachers nowadays are using Google Slides or SlideShare. Dina-download na lang sa internet ang mga visual aids ng teachers, di ba? And since we are doing that nowadays, dapat hindi ang tinay ng teacher na sa kanya yung Google Slides or siya ang gumawa ng PowerPoint presentations. The teacher must give credit to the owner of the PPT even though hindi alam ng iba na downloaded lang yun because that's professionality, and as professionals, you must do what you have to do. So again, Section 2 encourages giving credits to the real owners of information teachers were using instead of claiming it as their own. So now, let's proceed to Section 3 of Article 5. So Section 3 states that before leaving his position, a teacher shall organize for whoever assumes the position such records and other data as are necessary to carry on the work. So this section states that as teachers, hindi naman talaga forever na lang tayong nandyan sa posisyon natin. Some would choose to resign and some would have achieved a higher position like ngayon, teacher ka lang or in the lower position ka lang, but then someday magiging school head ka na. So you wouldn't be forever stuck in the position where you are today. But as teachers, whenever we leave our position, we must put in mind that everything must be organized or everything is organized first. Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin natin na, ay, aalis na ako dito, I can leave all my works undone. It's not right and will never be right. When you choose to leave, for example, you want to transfer to other school, dapat yung mga important documents are all done and complete. More specifically, when it comes to the grades of the students you've handled. Hindi naman pwede na basta-basta ka na lang umalis na hindi ka pa tapos magbigay ng grades because that would really cause a big problem, at hindi naman pwede na ipasa mo yung trabaho na yan agad-agad to your successor since they don't know yet what are the grades they should give as they are not the one who handled the students. At kapag ganun rin yung ginawa mo, if you leave all your works undone, kawawa naman yung students cause magkakapalya sa documents nila. So as professional, accomplish first what is needed before leaving because that's the right thing to do, and if needed, guide your successor first and teach them what to do so that when they officially replace you from your position, they already know what to do and they'll not be problematic on the documents. So now let's proceed to the last part of my topic, which is the Section 4 of Article 5. So Section 4 stated that a teacher shall hold inviolate all confidential information concerning associates and the school, and shall not divulge to anyone documents which has not been officially released or remove records from the files without permission. So in this section, it emphasizes the term confidentiality. So as professional teachers, you must never violate the confidentiality of those people who are involved in the school, especially the students. So teachers should be the protectors of every information inside the school and should not speak it in public without the permission of the head. So let's try to make the grades of the students as an example of a private document. Yung mga grades ng students, hindi dapat yun makita ng iba except sa may-ari ng grades at sa parents or guardians. Students' grades should not be posted on GC or should not be posted in social media platforms, since sometimes it may cause discrimination kasi magko-compare ng mga students yung grades na ipinopost. So, instead of posting it in the GC, much better na i-PM ng teacher yung students personally for students' confidentiality and for them to have the sense of ownership in their own grades. Another example is when may issue sa school. As a teacher, kung ano man ang nangyayari sa loob ng school, ano man ang problems inside the school, that should remain inside the school and should not be scattered in public, because what problems the school is encountering, that should be solved inside the school also. Kasi minsan, pag lumabas yan sa public, maaring magkaroon ng misinterpretation at maaring mas lumala pa yung problema. So again, everything must be confidential. As professional teachers, we should value the confidentiality of anything, because even though we are teachers, we don't have the right to expose anything that is not ours. So that's all about my topic. Once again, good morning everyone, and I hope you've learned something from my discussion. So God bless you everyone.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. I am Maya Elat, and now I am going to report the Article 5, which is the Teachers and Profession. For Section 5, it shall be the responsibility of every teacher to seek correctives for what may appear to be unprofessional and unethical conduct to any associates. However, this may be done only if there is incontrovertible evidence for such conduct. So, it means that you as a teacher have a great responsibility to correct all of your colleagues if they do unprofessional behaviors or unethical action towards the community or even the society. You as a teacher have the responsibility to correct them, to become a good model to the community, especially in your profession as a teacher. Section 6, a teacher may submit to the proper authorities any justifiable criticism against an associate, preferably in writing without violating the right of individual concern. So, as a teacher, you may make a written letter to any justifiable criticism or any concern regarding your colleague or regarding in your associates. You must be done this formally to your authorities, not in posting any concerns or any rant in social media accounts. The social media accounts would not really help you to serve or to answer all of your concern or criticism regarding that specific associates. Better to write a concern letter to the proper authorities. For Section 7, a teacher may apply for a vacant position for which is qualified, provided that we respect the system of selection on the basis of merit and competence, provided that all qualified candidates are given the opportunity to be considered. So, as a professional teacher, you may apply for any vacant position that you will be qualified. Just make sure that you respect, you follow the system of selection for that specific school. It's because it is important to respect all of those, especially when you are applying the DepEd or any organizations.
Good morning everyone. Good morning ma'am. I'm Rosailin Lagarong and I'm going to report about the Article 6, the teacher and higher authorities in the profession. Section 1. Every teacher shall make it his duty to make an honest effort to understand and support the legitimate policies of the school and administration, regardless of personal feeling or private opinion, and shall faithfully carry them out. Every teacher shall actively ensure that they follow the legitimate policies of the school and as well as the administration and development of the youth. Therefore, render the best service by learning and growth. When do we say this policy is legitimate? Well, we can say that this policy is legitimate when this policy is presented in different manual such as Administrative, Students Manual, and Teachers Manual. Section 2. A teacher shall not make any false accusation or charges against superior, especially under a no-community. However, if there are valid charges, he should present such under oath to competent authority. So, The teacher should not make any false accusation to the superior and even propagate and falsifying against the superior. But if you have enough evidence or even your proofs can be supported and lack evidence, so you can share your thoughts to the higher authorities that particular person or superior against the policies of the school and administration.
Section 3 and Article 6. The teacher shall transact all official business through channels except when special conditions warrant a different procedure, such as when special conditions are advocated but are opposed by immediate superiors, in which case the teacher shall appeal directly to the appropriate higher authority. So, Section 3 states that any type of official business transaction, as long as it is through proper or clean negotiation intentions, it is a professional act. It is the best thing to do, but there are still limitations. When that kind of reform was denied by the superior, the teacher must reconsider the appropriate superior authority. Section 4, Article 6. Every teacher, individually or as a part of a group, has a right to seek redress against injustice to the administration and to extent possible shall raise grievances within acceptable democratic processes. In doing so, they shall avoid jeopardizing the interest and the welfare of learners whose right to learn must be respected. Section 4 states that every teacher have a right to stand against discrimination and injustice that are happening in the school. Teachers have a right to complain against injustices, against unprofessionalism to our administrators. Every teacher should be a professional at all times. But if you feel that your right is not being addressed properly, if your right is being trampled by the demonstration, you have the right to complain. Every complaint should come with evidence. So if you feel that there are a lot injustices in the administration or in the school, you have the right to complain. So you should do it with the manner that you will not affect the welfare of your students.
Good day everyone, I am Stylist Jean Atawan. I will discuss Section 5 and 6. Section 5, every teacher has a right to invoke the principle that appointments, promotions, and transfer of teachers are made only on the basis of merit and needed in the interest of the service. As a teacher, you have the right to question certain appointments, especially here in the Philippines. There are a lot of cases where superiors or certain administrators tend to favor promotions from they know or from their relatives, and as a teacher, you have the right to question that. You should always take note that every promotion should always be based on merit. It should always be based on passing all of your requirements, your teaching abilities, and your performance as an educator. Section 6. A teacher who accepts a position assumes a contractual obligation to live up to his contract, assuming full knowledge of employment terms and conditions. As a teacher, you should always know what you're getting into whenever there is a certain contract on certain employments. You should always read everything from top to bottom. A teacher should always know what his contract is all about. She should know all the clauses and all the loopholes in it in order for her to not be taken advantage of. A teacher on contract, on the other hand, has the obligation to perform well and excel and teach the students. That's all, and thank you.
So that would be all regarding the report of our group. Hope you've learned a lot in our discussion, knowing that we could use all these informations in the future as we will be educators someday. These codes of ethics will help us be knowledgeable in the field of education. And before we end our presentation, please do remember that when the time comes that we become educators, we must be reflective in all our actions. Reflect on everything you do so that you can assess and evaluate your wrongs and improve yourself. As according to Hall and Simeral, the most reflective you are, the more effective you are. That would be all. God bless everyone and have a nice day.